That's Dolly Parton. You know, she's got her knockers, but I think she's still tip-top when it comes to singing. It's 21 minutes to 8 at BBC Radio Derby. I'm Richard Spur, and in just a few ticks you're going to be finding out about this grand march, almost a route march, from Nottingham to Derby. I don't think they're going along Brian Clough Way, but find out what they're getting up to and why. But first, around 20,000 British Muslims have completed the Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. They were among 2 million people from around the world who attended. Now, one of those was Zayn from Derby, and he joins you now. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
Thanks for coming in at this this perilous hour. Is it still freezing cold out there and raining?
Not too bad. It was very cold and windy last night, but I think I've woken up and it's a bit warmer today.
I think if you haven't woken up, the gusts will jar you from your comfort over the next few days. Now, listen, this is quite a pilgrimage, really. I think probably is the word to describe it. And it's the first time that you've performed Hajj, isn't it?
Yes, it's quite an important part of the Muslim faith, which is Islam. It's something that every Muslim should do at least once in their life if they are able to do so, because there's some conditions that you need to be able to do it. And so, yeah, this is the first time, and I was speaking to quite a few friends, and it's a cultural tradition, and most people leave it like, the last thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's, after going on Hajj for the first time myself, I think it's very important that people do it while they are young, because it is very physically and emotionally demanding.
What is it then? What do you do?
It's basically a tradition that happened, 1,000 years ago when the Prophet Abraham was alive. He basically was tested by God and obviously tested by the devil as well. And we basically complete the whole route which he experienced during that time. Now, obviously, during that time it was very hard, because there's no transport or anything like that. It's everything on foot, and we do the majority of it on foot as well. But in this modern day and age, with the coaches that you have and the transport, it's a little bit easier, but it's still very tough on the feet.
So it's a long journey and presumably in very hot conditions as well.
Yeah, very hot. It was 40 degrees, averaging 40 degrees every day. But these things, when you go for such a blessed journey, these things are just like something at the back of your mind. They don't, affect you in any way, because you're so focused on what you're doing and why you're here and what you want to achieve. These things that probably bother me here. I mean, for example, normally I get sunburn on my neck and everything.
Me too, yeah.
And when I was over there, I didn't, have any sunburn at all, anything like that. The sun didn't affect me. So it just shows you that when you go for such a blessed journey, that you are helped on the way.
Or was it that you were wearing a hat?
No. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to wear a hat during the days of Hajj. You wear special clothing, which is called the ihram. It's 2 pieces of cloth, because you're basically going to ask for forgiveness.
Right.
So you're going to yourself in plain simple, and basically, when you put those clothes on, what you are saying or trying to show to God is that you're taking your sinful clothes off and putting on these, sheets and coming into Him in a simple form
and making this journey.
And then you're not allowed to cover your head. So I didn't have my head covered at all.
Well, you got very short hair, haven't you? So it's probably you felt the full impact of the midday sun. You're relatively young, and it's clear that by talking to you just for a few minutes that you have a great deal of conviction about Islam and a great deal of conviction about your faith. Do you find that that's the case with your friends who are also Muslims?
It's yes, I'd say yes and no. It's all depending on what you believe in and how strong your faith is. I've been brought up in a religious, my parents have taught me my religion, and I've, also found out things for myself, which, I think makes the understanding better. But sometimes, as I've found from doing this journey and coming back, it's 2 different worlds. We obviously live here, and we're always busy in work and, things and commitment. I mean, I've come back only on Monday. I've gone straight back to work, and it's like as if I'd never been away. So we get caught up, but it's there are other people like myself who are very into their faith and religion and sort of live by it to help them go through their life.
Now, excuse me. This obviously is something which was very important to you. You've done it at a relatively young age. How has that experience changed you? Just finally, what What's different about the man that is Zayn now than there was before he went to Saudi Arabia?
Basically, it's made me more connected, to my faith. It's made me stronger. It's little things that probably bothered me before, won't bother me anymore, and I'm not connected to the world as such. We all work, we all have inspirations or desires to have maybe big houses, big cars, those kind of things. But when you do this journey and you come back, you actually realise what the facts are. And the facts are that we're born, we live a life, and then we die. And it's what's going to happen when I die. I'm not going to take my car with me. I'm not going to take my house with me, and I'm not going to take my money with me. It's everything I do now, in the present. The good. Hope trying to do good things for the community, for myself, for family, for the people around the world. Those are the things you take with you. So that in that sense, it's made me realise, come back and don't look. I used to. I've always still probably got a little desire to drive a Ferrari one day, but it's not as strong, as it was before.
There's nothing in the Quran about not being able to drive Ferraris.
No, it's not. But hopefully, you never know. Maybe by doing all these good deeds, I might be able to drive a Ferrari one day.
I think you should borrow one of Pete Waterman's. I saw him on telly the other day. Apparently, he owned 14 at one point. So if that's your aim, maybe you can drive across Saudi Arabia in it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'd get there quicker.
Yeah. Listen, it's an astonishing thing to do, particularly I think at such an early stage in your life. So. I take my hat off to you because I am allowed to wear one, unlike you when you were doing this, and it's good of you to take the time, Zayn. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That was Zayn Malouk from Derby, who's just completed the Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. More great stories for you between now and...